guys. What's going on? Good morning. Still, yep. All right. So we didn't quite make 11:30, but Michael here and Israel with another Tech Tuesday, and let me tell you, it has been a very Tech Tuesday. We've been. Apparently, all the gremlins decided to jump into all of our computer systems and internet this morning. So, but hope you guys are doing well, enjoying a nice, cool end of July and into August. No.
It's all the same to me
Oh,
until it gets cold.
So I know it's hot out there, guys. If you got questions for us, please drop them in there. If you're watching in a shared post, you got to click into ours and drop it in the comments on our actual post on Bucks Island, so that we can actually see it show up. We had a couple folks that did that. They didn't do that last week, and so I've got their questions queued up, and we can jump into those in a few minutes. Yeah, guys, drop a question in there, and we'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about.
Yeah.
So everything good?
Mm-hmm.
Did you finish up all your mercury?
Smashed my hand this week.
Oof. How'd you do that?
With a bush hog.
Bush hog.
Yeah.
All right. So it wasn't somebody's boat here.
Mm-hmm. But I get 9 stitches. That was nice.
Oof.
But it didn't break my fingers. So that was grateful.
All right. Well, let me queue up a quick question here. This may look like it's going to be a quick one today. All right. Somebody asked, I have a 2021 G3 Sportsman 1710 PFX. How can I keep water out of my live wells so I can use them for dry storage? The plugs
like
are allowing
permanently, I guess.
Small amount to come in.
Well, they have overflows, so sometimes when you come off a plane, it will. If you don't have the overflows plugged up, it may still let some water in. So I don't know.
I guess you could replace all of the any fitting or.
I guess it depends on if you plan on using for dry storage sometimes, and then sometimes you want to use them as a live well. If you permanently want to use them as dry storage, then you could take the fittings out and just plug them up solid. But maybe some better plugs if the plugs are not sealing off all the way. But
All right. Sorry, I'm checking. The gremlins are still in the tech. So, all right. Well, so the other option, now you bought the PFX. For those that might be shopping for the G3s, I would say the regular 1710, which the last 6 to 8 months, you really you got to take what you can get. But the regular 1710 is going to have more storage and not the two live wells in there. So,
yeah.
Let's see here. Let's swap that out. So he's got a 2010 G3 LX 322 tri-tune. What are the specs for the trailer? So I looked that up. It's a 23-foot, the 23-foot measured tri-tune from G3. So 8.5 standard, 8.5 foot wide.
Yeah.
So
I would say you probably want brakes on it.
Yep.
Tandem axle would be nice.
So I don't know if we'd probably end up putting that on a 23 or 24 foot trailer, depending on.
Probably we got a 23-foot tandem with brakes.
Yeah,
that would be one I would go with.
Beyond that, pretty much any of the pontoons. We sell Marine Master trailers, but most of your pontoons these days are going to be. There's really not much more to the dimensions. You're going to have to figure out the center line of the outside tunes.
In capacity,
Yeah.
Sometimes some of them need the trailers will look identical, but one will be an HD trailer, and the other one will be just a standard trailer, which all that is it holds more weight.
Yeah, I think that LX 322 is kind of like the middle road Suncatcher, so it's not probably
got
super,
150 on it.
Probably not super heavy. But are you a fan of the center log holder on the tri-tunes, or are you good if it doesn't have?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a good question. At first, I thought it was not a pontoon and that we were going to have to really pull out some odd dimensions on trailers. But I will say, working with Marine Master, if you really do need spec, they build a lot of trailers for a lot of companies, and that would probably be who we would refer a lot of those questions off to. So, all right, I am not seeing any comments, and I don't know if I've got an IT issue. Let me jump over here real quick and see if anybody. All right. So I am having issues. So your comments aren't showing up. I see Tim Taylor. Sorry, I haven't been able to participate lately for work, and I think you've been on a little bit of a across the country trip, if I saw correctly.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you too, Tim. I don't know why I'm not getting in comments. That's frustrating. Let me check real quick and see.
Hey, there's somebody.
There we go. I'm trying, guys. What do we got? I'll get there eventually. This has been a day. Dang. I may need to go home. Let's try that. Optics and 2 screen.
What is it? What is our trolling back? I mean, you could probably use a deep cycle trolling lithium for that, since it's not cranking.
Yeah.
Or Battleborns.
Yeah, the Battleborn is 100 amp hour. I mean, because Battleborn doesn't really. Most of those lithium companies don't really make a starter battery. So
Yeah.
I think from my understanding with the lithium, Dakota Lithium, but I mean, size capacity for Panoptics, I guess
100 amp hours would be plenty.
Yeah, I mean that would.
I'd say probably you probably use a 50 amp hours if you're just using it for Panoptics.
Yeah, so. I think. So if you were putting it, I mean, I guess the way I'd look at it is if you're putting it on a kayak, you're probably not going to put a 100 amp hour battery to run Panoptics. So you're probably going to a minimum of a 23 amp hour, and then probably like a 54 amp hour Dakota Lithium. Battleborn doesn't build a smaller battery, which is, Dakota's done a lot for the kayak community. So
yeah.
I'd probably say, I mean, if that's really all you're running, but usually we don't.
It looks like he's got a big bass boat behind him, so I'm assuming he's probably using it on a bass boat.
So yeah, I mean, I guess are you talking about a dedicated battery just for the Panoptics and the 2 screens?
I think that's what he's wanting, just for his depth finders. I'd say anywhere from 50 to 100 amp hours, depends on how long of a day you have.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that'd be interesting.
But or impulses, they do a starter battery now too. So.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess one thing I've honestly never even thought about with that is we've talked so much about electronics as everybody's getting more and more demand and more battery requirement. But I mean, maybe putting one up in a rod locker in some way.
I have a guy who actually uses one of the big, I think it's a Milwaukee 12-volt batteries, and he runs his front Garmin off of them. There's a little adapter that goes on there. So. But he says it works all day for him, but it's probably nowhere near. It's probably a 20 amp hour battery or something like that.
Yeah, I think a 54 amp hour would probably get two graphs and Panoptics if that's all it's running. For a while,
he's got Tim Taylor's boat in the background.
Okay. A fish out of a bass tracker. All right. Yeah. So hope that helps in some way. Repower a V-Hull 2101 center console 200 horsepower. Recommend a 4-stroke Yamaha or Mercury. Is this coming out of the G3? I'm guessing that's a G3 2101 cc.
It could be. Yeah. I would, if it were G3, I would say just. I'm assuming. I don't know if you already have Yamaha controls, and that would kind of be consideration. If you think that needs to be replaced, then that's also a consideration. So. If your controls are good, all your gauges and everything's good, I would probably recommend going back with whatever's on there. I'm a Yamaha fan myself, but
I mean,
anything right now is going to be hard to get.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, part of it is how big is the rush to get it. usually Mercury's tend to run a little bit cheaper as a motor, but let's say you had Yamaha controls on it, what cost difference is probably going to be lost in doing the whole swap over and completely rigging to run that Mercury, if that makes sense. So now I don't know, in terms of you were just stone cold asking choose Yamaha or Mercury, I think we know which way you would probably lean. But that's all right. I think Israel hit the most important piece of information right now is motor availability, especially if you're talking about 200 horsepower. Mercury, I think, has said almost, I think 300 and above is 54 weeks, and then so the middle motors, the 150s, 175s, 200s, I mean, they're talking over 6-8 months, I think, is something that for getting a Mercury. Yamaha is in about the same right now, and I've had this conversation, and it's frustrated a lot of folks, but right now those manufacturers have prioritized shipping those motors to the boat manufacturers instead of to retailers like us.
Which has frustrated us as well.
It absolutely frustrates us because
we're part of the same club.
Yeah, we sell a lot of both Yamahas and Mercuries. We do a lot of repowers. I talked to a really sad boat captain who fishes high school tournaments, and they're getting ready to start their season, and he's dead in the water and no motor. And he said, "What am I going to do?" I mean, I don't know. We are doing our best. We certainly have tons of stuff on order, but.
And another thing to consider is who do you have around you to work on stuff? Is there a Yamaha dealer nearby? Is there a Mercury dealer nearby? So that could sway your decision there.
But those 200 Mercuries, the 4-strokes have been, those have been pretty good motors, right? We haven't seen anything jump out that's a complete catastrophe or anything like that. So I'd say I've been fairly impressed with how I was expecting more issues, just quite frankly. Just the marine industry, just the way it is. So, but yeah, I hope that helps. I'm glad we got a few questions that hopped in there. And I hope one of those, little bit of that information helped you guys. If you got any other questions, feel free. If you're dropping them in comments right now and I'm not seeing them, I'll go back through and I guess we'll save it for next week. So, all right. Thanks, guys. We will catch you next week.